I'm LaVern Vivio from the Blaze TV. It's time to wake up, but not with this. It's time to wake up our faith. And the key to that, knowledge. Last time I promised to give you in less than 2 minutes the information you need to answer those who would mock and say that the Bible is just a book full of archaic fairy tales. It's an easy answer. You ask them, well, do you believe that we have the works of Plato? What about Homer, Aristotle? Usually, most people will say, well, of course I believe that we have those works, and I read those, and a lot of the times the people who will question you will be from academia, and they think they're smarter than us anyway. And of course they'll say that they read Plato. And you say, well, do you know how we authenticate the works of Plato, Aristotle, and works of antiquity? It's with tiny little fragments of text, little archaeological treasures that we have that prove to us that we know that's what Homer wrote, what Plato wrote. Do you know that the little fragments, the little archaeological treasures we have of Homer, how many we have? We have 643. For Plato, we have 7. Aristotle, 49. Caesar, we have 10. Do you know how many little archaeological pieces of text we have for the New Testament? If you just count the Greek writings, we have 5,366. Now, if you look at all the translations, because the New Testament was something that was shared in many languages, we have 25,633. When you share that information with them and they still don't see the New Testament as a valid work of literature, they're just lying to themselves. You'll get questions about evolution. Recently in the news, they had a story all over the news, all about a 1.8 million year old skull that was found, and the headlines declared evolutionary bombshell. Other headlines said, new understanding of early man. But then when you looked into the story, their new understanding of early man still said we came from monkeys. And in one of the stories, they had the illustration that we've all seen in museums, that parade of monkey to man. Do you know that that entire illustration is built around one figure, Java Man? Sometimes it's about 2 figures in, sometimes it's right in the center, but Java Man was recreated from bone fragments that they found that included a skull cap, a femur, and 2 teeth. Lee Strobel blames the parade of evolution of man, monkey to man, and Java Man partly on his early slide into atheism. Do you know it was later discovered that those specimens, those bone fragments, those limited bone fragments, were actually from 3 different specimens? It's a lie. But when you shout a lie long enough and loud enough, people start thinking it's the truth. We didn't come from monkeys. That's how quick and easy you can get the information. It just takes a moment. I mean, in the time that it takes you to get a cup of coffee and wake up your body, you can drink in a little bit of knowledge, wake up your entire spirit. And I've got a gift for you. I've got a PDF download, a free download for you. It's my notes that I've taken over the last 20 years. If you've ever seen me speak, it's the little booklets I sell called Constitution of Faith, but the PDF is free. Hopefully that'll get you started on your own journey of rediscovering your faith, so you'll have that wide awake boldness that we've got to have to face what's ahead. So the next time when somebody comes to you and asks you a question because they know you're a person of faith, and maybe you'll be able to answer it, but if not, you'll step back and you'll dig into it. Maybe 2 weeks later, a couple of months later, you'll say, thank you for challenging me because you've made my faith stronger, and maybe you can share with them a little piece of truth that will help them to faith. And I know even if you don't think you need this information, what about your friends and your family? Your kids. Your kids need it. And even if you don't think you need it, any little seed of doubt that you let plant in your mind that eats away at your mind, eventually it's going to eat away at your heart, and it's going to attack your faith, and we can't let that happen because we've all got to be wide awake. My boss, the historian, has a new book. It's called Miracles and Massacres. You got to check it out. It's fantastic. And if you want to know a little bit more about my journey, my long journey of growing up in a family of faith and falling away and coming back full circle, it's called Jesse, A True Story of Redemption. And I'm going to share one more book with you. It's called Spend a Little, Save a Lot. It's from my friend and co-host, Brad Staggs. He's an old friend of mine. And you know, next time I'm going to introduce you to Brad and share with you how God smacked him upside the head and brought him to Dallas in some unbelievable timing. Or at least I think it's God. You can see for yourself. God bless and lots of Dio, y'all.